Let us now have a program that demonstrates how to initialize an array, how to have looping constructs using an array, and at last try to have an array printed on a screen. This is a simple little C program that tries to print a histogram, that is histogram printing program. To start with, we include the usual ones like standard input output header file. Then we do have a constant defined as size taking an value 10, which is used to initialize the size of an array. So we have hash define size 10, which means that there is a constant size which takes its value as 10. Moving on to your main method, this is a main method which has its return type as integer. That is, the return type of this main method is going to be integer. Within this main method, I am going to declare an array n which is of size 10. So the declaration goes like this: the data type, that is integer, followed by the name of your array n, which is followed by the size of your array, which is a constant size 10, and I go along with initializing an array at the same step. How do I initialize it? Int n of size equals, within curly braces, I have 10 different values which are to be initialized inside an array. These values are 19, 3, 15, 7, 11, 9, 13, 5, 17 and 1 respectively. Added to these data members, I also declare two count variables, what I call as I and j. That is, I have a declaration like int I comma j, and then I have the title of my table printed on the screen. This is achieved using a printf statement which has the specifiers like %s, %s and %s, each one for elements, value and histogram. The sizes of these fields are limited as 1 for your element, 13 for your value and 17 for your histogram. Then I have a looping construct which runs for a count variable I that gets initialized from 0 and runs along till size minus 1, which is the exact size of your array, and then for every iteration of this loop the count variable gets incremented by a value of 1. What is that I do within this block? I try to print the count variable and then the content of my array in that particular position. Say for example, what it will do is it will print the element and then it will print the value. I have another block which runs for a count variable j, and that j is for a delimiter which is n of I, that is the content of the array in that particular ith count variable. Say for example, if I say j is less than or equal to n of I, for this instance the ith value is 1 and I will get the value present at n of 1, and this j will be checked against 1, and if that condition were true, it will have the further printing statement which tries to print an asterisk. The idea behind this is we are willing to print as many number of asterisks as like the value contained in that particular array location, and for every of this I try to have a new line character printed, that is for every value that gets printed on an array, and for the next new value I go to the new line into my array tree. So this happens to be a sample C program for which the output is as follows. The elements are 10 in number, which are grouped from element at position 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, and the values present in those respective locations happen to be 19, 3, 15, 7, 11, 9, 13, 5, 17 and 1. And if you can look at the rightmost column, you have as many number of asterisks printed on that field that correspond to the value present in that exact position. So this concludes a sample program where we make use of arrays. Then let us look at another sample array program where an array behaves like a string. Here we will have a mention on how to initialize strings, how to print strings, how to define a loop, how to print characters individually, how to have an input string and how to have it printed out. Now this is a program that treats characters in array as a string. As usual, we do have the standard input and output header file included. Then we have our main function constituted, within which I have a string 1 which is of a type character array, which runs for length 20 characters. I have another string 2 which is initialized as a string literal, and then I have a count variable I. The next statement prompts the user to enter a string. Having noted this, the user would attempt to enter a string. So I need to have a variable wherein I can capture the entry of the user. So for that I have a scanf statement which has its type specified as %s, and that stores whatever value entered by the user into an array what we have declared at the beginning as string 1. Then I try to print the array which has been input in the line before. So that tries to print string 1 is, it has the string printed. String 1 with white spaces between characters is string 1 comma string 2. Then I have another for block that has a count variable I that starts from 0 and that moves till the string that we have inputted reaches its null character. So for this entire thing, what it does is it tries to print character by character. Then it moves on to a new line and then it returns you a value 0. So the output of this entire program would be something like this. You will be prompted as enter a string. Then if you enter some word like hello there, string 1 is hello, string 2 is string literal, that is what we had initialized in this entire screen. String 1 with white spaces between characters happen to be H space E space L space L space O. This is how we separate a character by character within a single. With this, we come to end in the session arrays, where we have come across definition of an array, how to have array declared, how to have it initialized, how to have manipulations in an array, how to have arrays passed as parameters towards a function, and how to have an array element passed towards a function